Hello, everyone. Welcome to Exceptional ND. Today, we would like to introduce Sarah Hawthorne, Dr. Sarah Hawthorne, naturopath. She's a grad from CCNM 2009, and she has a clinic. What's the clinic name
Health and
again?
balance. Health
Health
and
and Balance.
balance.
Health and
Yes.
Balance with 12
In Cambridge.
practitioners in
Yes.
Cambridge.
Yeah.
Fully stocked.
Fully stocked.
But she also has launched a line of homeopathics in liquid form, which I would love to hear more about. But she has sponsored Exceptional ND sort of like from the get-go. So we have seen each other at conferences, and every time we go places, she's there. So we went to the CHFA, and then you're there. And then every time I see you on social media, I'm like, we were just there too. So
The
I
Burlington
feel like,
Private School like a month ago. It was like, oh,
Yes, yes,
you're everywhere.
yeah,
Hawthorne Homeopathics is everywhere.
it's
yes.
everywhere.
I love your brand because you were just talking before we started that how clean it was. You were just saying that you're the only arnica cream that has no petroleum.
Yes, yes. So that was a big. First, we started with the remedies, and then people were asking us for a topical to go with our remedies, and we thought, okay, well, let's create an arnica cream then. And then as you deep dive into like other companies that make arnica cream, you're looking at the ingredients. You're like, oh, I don't know if I ever paid attention to what was in there, to be honest. Like honestly, I don't think I did. I think I would just buy the arnica cream and use it. But then you get looking at the ingredients and you're like, oh, they all have phthalates, they all have SLS, they all have parabens, they all have PEG, they all have petroleum. They all do. Maybe not all that list, but they all have all some of the above. So it was really important to create a product that is free of all of those so that people feel good putting it on their skin. And then picking, we called it Arnica #7 cream because we have 7 medicinal homeopathics, not just Arnica. So I was mentioning, like I put Rustox in there, which is really good for osteoarthritis and inflammation and pain. And then Ledum, which is really good for post-puncture. So good for after acupuncture. I've been using Ledum pre and post acupuncture for years for people who are really sensitive with
Huh.
needles. So I thought, well, if I put it in the topical formula, then that would be really helpful. Um, that's a really helpful way to help with, after a puncture. So sorry, someone's knocking on my door, but I'm just going to ignore it. That's totally fine. Um, so that would be good to use sort of after a puncture. Um, and tried to create it where it would be useful in other situations. Calendula is in there as well. So we called it arnica though, because that's the name that people know, right? Like it's hard to come up with a name for something that does a lot of things where arnica is like eye-catching, people recognize that. And then from there, you can say, oh, it also does this, it also does this. And I was saying it's really thin consistency. So it's really nice as almost more like a serum. And you can even put it on, like I love it even using it on people's faces, which not a lot of those type of creams you'd want on faces because they're really oily and thick. But this one's quite nice, absorbs really quickly. So we've been getting really good feedback with it. A lot of we have a couple chiropractors that have been using our products, and quite successfully. We're getting a lot of those repeat businesses as well. So we're pretty excited about it. And then we put it in a glass format, which I think is very important because homeopathics are an energy substance. They pick up on what they're in. So again, none of them are in a glass. And when I'm at Nature's Emporium, which our products are there, I'm looking at, they have this huge homeopathic wall and every single arnica cream is in plastic or in like that toothpaste style tube. We're the only glass. And I'm like, how? Like, huh, okay. That I didn't even really realize we were the only one in glass. That was just really important to me to have it in a glass format. And then you don't want to touch it because it's homeopathic. So then we put it in a pump format so that your fingers aren't on it at all. It stays in its little container and then you can just pump it out and then it comes out. So a lot of thought went into the application of the remedy, what's in it, and how homeopathics work better when they're stored in the right medium.
What made you
So
launch the line in the first place? Like, what pushed you
I
to be
know.
like, I'm an ND, and now I'm going to be like an entrepreneur on top of an entrepreneur on top of
I,
an entrepreneur, like,
yeah, because I think we all have that, right? We all do that.
and then like more.
I know, because we're crazy. Um,
What
because we never do
flavor?
enough, right?
I know, like, what flavor were you thinking when you're like, spin this crazy wheel another time?
Like, where does this go today?
Yeah.
Um, Like, woohoo. I think, like, I would say when my kids were small, I bought like the huge first aid kit from Boron, you know, the big plastic one, and I have it upstairs in my house still. So I would use that, but it didn't really come with any information. And patients would ask like, oh, and I treat a lot of pediatrics, and people would say, oh, you know, what do I take for this? What do I take for that? And then you explain it, but you don't have a ton of time in your practice. You know, they come in for a 30-minute follow-up for one condition. You don't have time to go, well, if your kid gets a bee sting, you know, make sure you have APIS on hand. And like, you don't really have the opportunity to do that type of education. So I think in my own house, I was like, oh, I wish there was like a first aid kit that like you could just take, that was like, would explain it well, and something that you could take with you easily. Like that big giant case is not portable. It's meant for home use. It's not like a throw in your bag type of case. So I kind of had the idea then, and then with my own family, and then in my patient demographic, I was like, there's a need for this for sure. And then in 2020, I found like there was an increase in demand for self-care and self-treating than there ever was before, right? And I'm sure you NDs have seen that, right? Like there's more mistrust, there's more people are seeking knowledge. Okay, how do I do this myself? How do I treat? How do I just, you know, and kids always get sick on like Saturday night or like Christmas Day, and everything's closed and nobody's open and you don't know what to do. So that, I think, pushed my idea. That was like the turning point. It was like, okay, I've had this idea for a decade. If I don't actually go through with this, I'm going to regret it. So I just kind of went full on. I applied to Health Canada to get all the DINs. I got all the DINs. So I have 14 DINs, the 12 single remedies. The first aid kit has its own DIN, and then the arnica cream. That process took between 3 months to 18 months, depending on which product it was. And then found a supplier, which took a while, found a manufacturer. I got it all lined up, and then we just started launching on Instagram, on a website, and at like Exceptional ND and naturopathic conferences, and just getting my product out there. I feel like the benefit of already being in the profession is, you know, a lot of people. So it was easy for me to like introduce it to a lot of people already, and my own patient demographic, which was nice. And then when I was creating the kit, I prefer homeopathics to be in glass. I always have. So historically, I've ordered them from the UK for my patients, but it gets very expensive to do it that way because it's in pounds, and like the shipping and customs and everything. So it was really important for me to have the remedies in glass. And then when you look into putting remedies in glass in pellet form, the application is brutal because you open the lid and they all fall out. Like you open, and then you're like, well, that, like, people are just going to complain that they've lost all their remedies. Like, yeah, they open it up and they're like, they all fell out. So I was like, okay, well, the easier way then is to do them in liquid, to do it in glass. And then I started going down that rabbit hole of, oh, there is no single liquids for people to buy. Like, okay, now that's our edge, which I didn't even think about. I was really focusing on having them in glass was my priority. And then it's like, okay, now we're liquid, which now people are excited about because now they're vegan and they're sugar-free. And it's a variation to what's available, because currently the only one available in the retail market, not for NDs, but for the consumer, if you're going to a store, there's only one option. So to have a glass liquid option is a big advantage, which is kind of like the way it kind of came. It was not really how it started, but that's where we're headed. So that's kind of how we land. And I prefer liquid medicine. I think in general, I think that it's often more effective. Same with like liquid tinctures, and they're always in amber glass. And medicine in liquid form, I've always found is more beneficial than in a solid. And there was a really good diagram I found of that once, but I could never find it again, talking about the best format of medicine was liquid, and then all the way down to like tablet form and the benefits of versions of the medicine. So that's kind of a long-winded story of how I ended up here. And then I went to this networking event, and I'm one of those people that's a yes person. If someone asks me to do something, I'm 2 feet in all the time, which sometimes gets me in trouble. But in this situation, it seems to be working out. But I went to this networking event and this woman was there. She was great. And she's like, oh, I'm really good friends with someone who owns a distribution company. I want you to meet them. I met them. They took me on as like distribution. And then from there, once you have a distributor, you're just kind of flying. So that's how you end up at the CHFA. I went to the Vancouver CHFA. I'm going to the Toronto one again. In of 100 products at the Toronto CHFA, we were in the top 20 for innovative products.
Good for you.
Yeah, which was like crazy because I'm like, and then everyone who comes by is super pumped because there's been no homeopathic innovation in probably like 50 plus years. Like nobody's making it like kind of fun and different and trendy and excited. Like people are excited about, oh, cool. Like they're excited to learn. Like I don't think that's really happened in a very long time. So I think people are kind of pumped about that aspect of it. And that makes me happy because I love the modality. And I'm sure you guys heard the news about Unda. So it's
Wait.
interesting timing.
What news?
You haven't heard of that news yet?
No.
We have breaking news now that we're like recording it.
I know, like
breaking news from Dr.
Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news.
Well, there's got to be like some sort of emoji for that. Is there?
There's got to be something, right? Yeah, but they're discontinuing their whole line.
Oh my gosh, that's not good news.
That is breaking though.
Yeah.
Bad. So their plexus, all their Unda numbers, all of it.
That's shocking.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for an emoji. I mean, I'm like, but sometimes if you're like this, the emojis happen.
I know, like the balloons that you're just like, make it balloons, but we don't want to realize that would be celebrating. So we don't want to do that.
No. I know, but it's like, it's interesting timing how there's like this, I feel like there's this surge of people interested in it, but yet the mass market is slowly getting rid of them at the same time.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm not sure what's there.
Yeah, I think with our resources, and maybe we'll talk about this offline, but I think there's a couple people who have some insight into why those lines, the Unda line was so incredibly successful, because they've been around a long time, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe that's the next step in innovation for you guys for Hawthorne.
Well, I've already schemed it. I'm already scheming it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow.
Well, I already have all of the line. I already have it all lined up, like with supplier and manufacturer, right? So all it would be reformulating it, getting it in, and then just, you'd obviously have to change it a bit for proprietary reasons, but you could, yeah. So I'm already kind of like, might be an opportunity there.
Yeah.
And apparently I've heard, again, this may be more like an offline conversation, but apparently it's like a way they add them like in order that makes a difference of some sort. Anyway, now this is getting all into like,
this is like,
no, 100%. And I was just kind of like, oh, maybe that would be an idea because I don't know about you guys, but they're a huge part of my practice. And I would be like, in certain cases, I'm like, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have access to those. Like anyway, so that's kind of like an aside thing, but it was just interesting to me that there's this demand. And even if you follow the trends in homeopathy, like there's a massive amount of increase in interest in like last year alone, the studies show that 10 million people used homeopathics in Canada last year.
Wow.
Like that's a huge statistic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's massive. And the industry itself is going to like triple, they said, by 2035. So in the next 10 years, the industry like revenue for homeopathics is going to quadruple in the next decade because of the interest growth. So it's an interesting time because people are eager to try them. And the nice thing about homeopathics is, like you guys know, is there's no safety concerns about people going and trying them, right? Like there's no risk. So as a clinician, because you never take off your clinician hat, you don't have to worry about someone going in and buying something and you're going, oh crap, what if they're on this med? Or like, what if they're on, there's no concerns.
No.
So if I feel good about that, like, you can give it to your infant, give it to your 100-year-old grandma, someone's on chemo, they're on like immunosuppressants, like there you go. Breaking news. I love it.
Wow. You were focused on that the whole time?
I love it. That's so good.
Pretending. I was
That part,
focusing.
like, yeah. But that part I love. Like, I love that, like, we don't have to worry about that with people. So people are, I think because of all of those people, a lot of people are like, okay, I'll try it. And the price point's always so good with homeopathics too,
Yeah.
that people are like, oh yeah, I'll give it a try. And will they work for everybody? No. But do pharmaceuticals work for everybody? No. Like, but they will work for a lot of people. So it's, yeah, I'm excited about kind of where it's going, and it's gaining momentum, which is pretty cool.
I know I should know this question. I should have checked this out before. But on your website, do you have how-tos? How to use like a first aid kit?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 So in the first aid kit, like when you buy the first aid kit, it's all 12 of the remedies that we have in the
Yeah.
kit, and then it comes with a booklet. And so
That's
the
perfect.
booklet is what booklet's the value, right? Like
Yeah.
the booklet is, because without that, you don't know how to use them. So in the booklet, it explains every remedy, what it's for, how to dose it, how to use it, tons of frequently asked questions. We spent like months and months making this booklet, like so perfect. So it answered everybody. And so far, every question anyone's had yet, we've had in the booklet. So we're like, okay, the booklet is gold. Like that is what there, that's where the value is.
Yeah.
And when you're in the retail stores, we have this like, the remedies are individually in this cute little case that we created. And
Mm.
on the case, there's QR code stickers that take you to the booklet.
Oh, smart.
So if people are in the store and they don't know, they can scan it and the QR code takes you right to the booklet, and then they can read about them.
Smart. Very
Yeah,
smart.
and trying to make it like, you know how sometimes you go and there's pamphlets and papers everywhere. Well,
Mm.
no, people aren't going to do it, and it's expensive to make all that print material, and it often just gets thrown out.
Yeah.
So if you can just make it very tangible and easy and like a quick scan, read about it, oh, that sounds like something I need, and then take it. So we're just trying to make it super user friendly and easy and simple.
And you have the option to buy the individual and the first aid kits, like in,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
smart. Yeah.
Yeah. So you could buy the kit form or the individual form. Yeah.
I was just talking with like a counselor who wants to like, do cross marketing. And we were trying to figure out, how we could, because she's got like 10 counselors and we have naturopaths. And so we're like, how do we get
Yeah.
them together? And so she's like, oh, well, we have a like a community partners on our website. And I'm like, I don't have that. And she's like, okay, would you put
You
that in?
want to add that?
Yeah. But like, you don't necessarily as a naturopathic clinician put other naturopaths on your website, but you do if the product teaches your patients how to use it.
Well, yeah. And that's honestly like that to me, this is like, I would want, if I didn't offer that, I would want my patients to be like, oh my God, my friend like has this product that you can
Yeah.
buy that teaches you everything you want to know about first aid and acute conditions. And the booklet is there, and then they can just use it themselves. Like that is the goal.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can't afford to see a naturopath either, right? Like they don't have the resources for that. So if they can be like, oh, it's kind of like a naturopath in a booklet. And I mean, obviously obviously we have to put like talk to your health practitioner, and you have to, but part of the goal too is that people could just have access to that and know what to do with it, because people are craving the info.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I mean, I see it in my practice, and I know that everyone has a different demographic of people that they treat, but yeah, people want that. They want that information, and it's not readily available. And if it is, there's a lot of bad information about homeopathics online. So then, and they can be a bit confusing. So then you just don't use them because you are like, what? I have to be hot. I have to be cold. What? And then
Can't
they're
take
like,
it
I
when
don't,
I'm
and
eating.
then, yeah, I don't know what I need. Then they just don't do them.
Yeah. I can never take it when I'm eating. I'm eating all the time. I'm like,
I
okay.
don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So, and with us, like we took like Nux vomica, for example, like Nux vomica has so many applications, but the way that we looked at Nux for our kit was like overeating, overindulging, and like indigestion. That's it. That's all you use it for. So if you have like, and then we word it like, if you think you take Pepto-Bismol, take Nux vomica instead. That's
Nice.
it.
I love
Super
it.
easy, super basic. We're not getting into the fact that like Nux also works for like your type A, super stressed out moms, because then people get confused because they're like, well, how does Nux work for like a personality and a stomach ache? And then you lose people, right?
Yeah.
So trying to keep it super basic with like acute applications where the remedy is going to work. Because when you start talking about, the other, yeah.
Sonya has a fan in her stupid room, and every time I'm in her room, she puts the fan on my back, and then she just laughs at me, and I'm like, if I had your remedy, I could go visit her dumb room with her.
You could. You could be like, I'm not angry.
Come on, I'm ready for you. I got my remedy. Bring it on.
I know. And it's funny, like doing this, like I've been posting more on the studies of the homeopathics, which honestly I didn't really look that much into before because I've always just used empirical information. Like, well, this works for patients. This is what we're taught. But there's actually a ton of research on them, like a ton. I have more than I'm going to post, but a ton, like Arnica especially has, and they're all on reputable sites. Like they're all on, like, they're not on some, random science sites. Like they're like PubMed and like all Lancet, like all these great articles. Like it's super impressive. And in our profession, there's such a divide with homeopathics, which to me is so crazy because they're such a lovely modality, but that's fine. So I think like it's even more important to be like, hey, here's the research with this homeopathic. And if you have a problem with it, talk to the person who wrote the study.
Yeah. Not me. Here's that
Not me.
Child.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like that's super exciting to see that data that like we can, like I said, most of the time I think with homeopathics, it's old knowledge or empirical, but when you can have the objective studies too, that's helpful.
I like it to make homeopathy.
Sorry. I was going to be a bit controversial, but I think if you're a naturopathic doctor and you've never tried arnica on your children, I mean, I can't even imagine. I mean, I've got boys and a daughter who plays rugby and hockey, so I have arnica everywhere. Like I have your amazing arnica. My daughter loves it.
Oh, thank you.
I think she has,
and I love your daughter.
I'm biased, but yeah, she's amazing.
She's the best. Her and I have great talk whenever I see her.
She loves you. I think if I would have told her, she would be on right now. So, but yeah, she has one of these in every bag she has.
Yeah, that's so sweet. Yeah, but I mean, I'm the same. Like my kids they've never taken a conventional med, and people sometimes are like, "What?" It's like, well, our medicine's beautiful, and not that I'm against it if they really needed it, but thankfully we've been in a situation where they haven't had to, and I feel blessed that I have the knowledge to be able to address them, or they see their own ND, and like it's okay. But yeah, same like if arnica especially, like I get that you might not want to use others, but like arnica, like even in Shoppers Drug Mart and Rexall, they have an arnica section now.
My kids, the homeopathic remedy was arnica. They'd be like, "Can I have my arnica?" And I'm like, "No, this one's for headaches. It's called belladonna." Like arnica, and I'm like, "No, it's called homeopathy. The tubes, this one is called arnica." They're like, "Can I have my arnica?" Like I'm like,
"Yeah, it's so sweet."
I ruined them. Like they just think there's one of my. There's hundreds. They're like, "Arnica 3," and I'm like, "Okay, we'll talk when you can read."
Oh, it's so sweet. I know. My daughter went to, I thought she broke her ankle like a month ago. So we go to the ER to get an x-ray, and we show up, and then the triage nurse is like, "Oh, did you give her anything for her pain?" And I said, "No." And then my daughter turns around, she's 8. She turns her and she has no filter. And she turns around at me with these like dagger eyes. She's like, "Yeah, you did." And I was like, "No, I didn't." And she's like, "Yeah, you gave me arnica, Mom." And then I was like, "Oh, yeah, you're right." And then the nurse goes, What did you give her?" And then I said, "Oh, I gave her some arnica." And then the nurse goes, Oh, I don't know what that is, which is whatever. And then my daughter she goes, "What? You don't know what arnica is?" And then the nurse goes, "No." And then Andy goes, "Oh, it's for pain. I thought you were a nurse."
Yeah, I need to meet your daughter. We need to get your daughter and my daughter together.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God, she's hilarious. And I just was like, I didn't say anything. I just like was like, I'm like, can I have an X-ray, please? Like, I'm just here for an X-ray. Um, yeah, so we need to get she's 8 and like, watch out, man. She's gonna rule the world one day, that kid. But yeah, but arnica, I think of any homeopathic, even if you don't use it, you would at least have heard about it or know about it, or yeah. Like I said, in most conventional pharmacies, they have an arnica section now. So it's fairly well known.
We'll drop off your kit to the nurse. Like, here's
There you
and
go.
here's the book.
Yeah, here's the arnica.
Well,
love
I think the first aid stuff is such an amazing entry point to homeopathy because
Yes. Yeah.
and Jennifer Drummond tells this story, right, where she didn't believe in it, and then she had her firsthand experience with it, and she became, now such a such a
Yeah.
fantastic naturopath who uses homeopathic remedies all the time. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's it's interesting. Our son had because our kids play contact sports, right? So we were up, I don't know, Caledonia somewhere, and my youngest got hit in the head. They put him at prop. They put him in the scrum, right? And he's
Yeah.
tall, and lean. Anyway, all the guys were like 3 times bigger than he was. So he gets his head knocked, he gets kicked in the head or something like that, and he's nauseous and he's light sensitive and his head hurts and he's not crying, but he's like, I feel like I don't feel good. And so we drive away from the pitch, the rugby pitch, which is outside of town, and we stop at Fortino's, and I grabbed Arnica 10M, and literally, literally within 5 to 10 minutes, he's like, I'm fine. And that doesn't always happen. Like, he's had other issues, but that was incredible.
I
Mother was,
know. And if you can see stories like that, right? And it's so unbelievable. And I remember when I started at CCNM, I had my degrees I did a double minor. I did music and biomedical science. And I remember first year homeopathic class, I was listening and I was like, oh dear God. Like I was like, oh, and I was like rolling my eyes and I was like, this is nuts. This is like ridiculous. This doesn't even make sense. And then, but then you start to use it and you're like, and I was lucky to have Dr. Hannah Weidenfeld, who was like her and
wow.
Dr. Saunders were, and Weidenfeld, oh my God, like rest in peace. But she was my favorite. And the stuff that I learned from her, like the verbal that would come out of her mouth, like I was just frantically writing all the time. And it was all homeopathics. And it was all of these success stories and all of these remedies. And so she really inspired me, her and Dr. Saunders, to like do a little bit more of a deep dive. And then I did the course through Boron, the CEDH program that they have. I've done that program where I've gone and Dr. Elisa Song in California. Yeah, so she's one of the teachers for that. So I went to her clinic in 2018 and I spent like 4 days at her clinic learning from her. And she just like, again, I'm like frantically writing, like amazing. Like that was like, if anyone wants to learn more about homeopathy, that program through Boron is amazing. And it's all acute prescribing and it's not exactly how we're taught. So it's more hands-on, more practical. If someone has this, use this. If someone has this, use this. And for acute prescribing, it's amazing because there's no, kind of like what we're trying to do with first aid. It's like one of the remedies in there is phosphorus, which has a ton of applications, but it's amazing for nosebleeds. So if you have a nosebleed, it's phosphorus. It's not, oh, what type of blood is it? No, it doesn't matter. It's phosphorus. That's the remedy. Just take phosphorus. So it just takes out the guesswork of like it, just trying to make it super simple. And I think if it's simplified, more people will use it. It just,
Well, I think the great
so
thing about that program, I can see my book right here. I feel like I should go get it, but I feel like more medical doctors and people outside the naturopathic community are using it, right? I'm gonna get it. I'll
oh,
show you.
100%. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, 100%. And like that's the exciting part too.
There it is.
Ah, I have that one
There
too.
it is.
Okay. I haven't started. I've signed up, but my year was crazy. I think this has
Oh, did you
been,
sign up with this EDH?
I
Yeah.
did, but I haven't done a lot
Yeah.
of it yet. I need to get into it. So this is going to
So
make me.
you know what's really great about that program, Sonia? So I still haven't finished it.
Yeah,
And
you have access,
it's
right?
lifetime. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
that is
So it's
amazing.
like I think it's 8 weekends total.
Yeah.
And like I said, I signed up in 2018 and I'm still not done. And they're like, and I picked the ones that I thought, like the pediatric one was the one with the Lisa song that I thought, that's going to be more up my alley. Um, and I think I focused on like dermatology one I did because I find dermatology really tough to treat a lot of the time. So I wanted to learn that. So, but then there's still a lot of the weekends I haven't done yet. But that's what's great about the program is you can just be
Is.
like, okay, pop in now after 10 years of of not completing it. Oh, I'm back. And it's once you've paid that lifetime membership, then there's no other fees, which is really great.
It is.
What's
You-
next
Yeah.
on your wheel? Like on your are you are
Oh,
you are you riding the Hawthorne homeopathic still? Or are you gonna like spin another one?
ooh, no, I've got another idea. I'm working on a women's wellness kit for it.
Ooh,
Oh, wow.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
So I've applied for those DINs. I'm going to make it smaller. It's going to be 6 remedies. Um, and I feel like that's such a hot topic right now. And a lot of women want to do HRT, but a lot of women don't. And a lot of women can't. Like, I don't prescribe HRT. So I
Yeah.
see the women that it doesn't work for, and also the women that want homeopathics, they want acupuncture, they want herbs, they don't want HRT. There's a lot of them out there, like we think that everyone wants the HRT. But it's like, no, and I'm not poo-pooing HRT. Like it's helpful for a lot of people, but it's not for everybody. So I think um, that's kind of my next idea. And then after that, I want to do a 3 remedy travel kit, and I would really like to have it at the airport.
Oh,
Ooh, love
it's
it.
so
I
cool.
love it. I love
That's my like, I have a connection with the airport, so that's my next thing, I think, because I think that would be a great, because everyone is looking at the airport for stuff. So if you
Yeah.
could have one there like that, because the first aid kit would be great, but I think it's too big for people to buy. That's not like well, maybe, but I don't think that's like oh crap, I forgot something, I'm going to buy this kit. Like potentially, and you can take it on planes. I designed it so that the liquid amount is under.
Smart.
Um, so I've taken it on many carry-ons. It's fine. It's allowed like based on the liquids. Um, so those are kind of the next 2 kits that I have in mind that I'm kind of working on.
So exciting.
I know. Those are fun, right? Yeah.
I kind of assumed you had something, but then that is super fun. Like those are really those I can't wait to see it at the airport. I cannot wait.
I know. That'd be fun. Because you're like, oh, I saw her now. She's at the airport. She's
Oh,
everywhere I go.
everywhere. And I forgot about the airport. No, she's there too.
So my son went to Costa Rica, and as we're packing, I'm starting to think of all these things he could be exposed to, right? It's like the sunburn and the arnica, and I know
Yeah.
he's doing some physical
Yeah.
labor. And so, I think I put
Yeah.
everything in there but apis, and the first thing that happened is he went and got stung by something. I'm like,
Damn it. I know. So that's kind of that's kind of where I'm like, I love to travel. And I feel like that is a huge market for people. When they travel, they want
For
stuff to
kids,
travel with, right?
right? Like if you
And
never kids.
yeah, exactly. And depending where you're traveling, you don't have access to healthcare. Like here, you could, if you don't have something, you could drive to the store, but depending where you're going, you might not, you need to take everything with you.
Yeah.
So
I love it. I
I
love
feel
hearing
like
what
that.
you do.
Yeah. So that's kind of like yeah.
I I'm gonna touch base. We have a marketing meeting soon, and so I'm gonna like see if I can get my marketing lady to add your like community partners to because I feel like as naturopaths, I also want to like make sure that we talk about other naturopaths. So I'm gonna see if I can add Hawthorne Homeopathics to my own website, my like the clinic website, and then
Oh, fun. Yeah, that'd be great.
that
Yeah.
allows my patients to learn about first aid that I didn't have time. Like it's like
Well,
you've done the work for me.
well, honestly, like that's what I'm hoping, because it's like and I know from having a busy practice that you don't have time for that, but that is the stuff that you do want your patients to know because it's helpful. But they're not coming in to say, "Oh, I'm going to pay for your time to talk about first aid in case something's happens one time."
Yeah.
Like that's not really how practice works. No.
we should do an exceptional MD series on all of the homeopathics in your first aid and go through it, and you talk about what they're good for, just in like maybe a short video format.
Okay, I'm gonna put
Sure.
that on 27.
Yeah, I
I'm,
love that.
I'm putting it in first aid because it's, they're taking homeopathy out of the school. So
I know.
then even the simple things we learned are not as simple anymore to get access
I know.
to. Yeah.
I know. Now I'm a bit like perplexed about that because don't you still need to know homeopathic for your board exams?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Not wrong. Nope, not wrong. You nailed it.
Okay. Got
Yep.
it. Okay.
Yep.
It makes sense. Make it make some sense.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Yeah.
And you know, and the like, yeah. And I
Mhm.
know that it's not the modality for everybody, and that's okay, but it's neither is acupuncture. I mean, we learn acupuncture, and a lot of NDs don't ever touch acupuncture after that, right?
Yeah.
And so it's okay. Like you kind of like what you like, and then you can, like Sonya and I, like you go after and you take more courses and things that you're interested in. Like that's what makes our profession so great, is that everybody's, we all have the same core training, but then from there, you do what works for you and your style and your personality. And then those patients are attracted to how you practice.
Yes.
Like, I don't attract the people that are like, want all the studies and all the evidence. Like, I just don't get those patients because that's not really how I practice. But I get the ones that want more of the energy, the homeopathics, and right? Yeah.
Yeah, they're subtle. So they feel medicine in a subtle way because they are subtle people. That's who they are. That's who they
Exactly.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's yeah.
I'd say too, like the superficiality of the idea of randomized control trials being able to give you information on how to treat a whole person, right? Is just so, I mean, it's ridiculous on top of it's filled with
Oh yeah.
hubris. So, I
Yeah.
mean, if
Yeah.
then we're down to what? Exercise and Mediterranean diet. Why be a doctor? Go be a holistic nutritionist, or like
Well,
even holistic
exactly.
nutritionists, I would say do a phenomenal job with things like
Yeah, they
homeopathic.
do.
So I
They
don't even
do. I know,
know
they
like, where
do.
to land with exercise and Mediterranean diet. I guess maybe as a gym trainer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
I
even.
know.
Not even.
I'm not against those things. I just think when you like we have all these tools in our toolkit as naturopathic
And all this
doctors,
training. Yeah.
homeopathic and all this training, and then you're like, I'm gonna ignore 99% of it. It's just there's words for it. I'll go with fascinating today.
Yeah.
We're we're gonna tie this up and let Sarah go
Oh,
because
that was spicy. I need some of your hormone, like your
I know we're like I'm like
The hormone kit.
the perimenopause spice is like flying through. Is it hot in here? I'm turning my fan. I do.
here.
And then my kids are like, Mom, like, are you just, is there, you're a lot right now.
All right, well, it's
Dear.
lovely talking with you, Dr. Sarah Hawthorne, and I wish you the best of luck for well, for your practice, but for your business because I feel like it's helping patients, it's helping people, and it's you're right, it is. I didn't realize how innovative it is because I feel like those are simple old ideas, but I love that
No,
you put those simple old ideas and then it's become innovative. Like I love that for you.
100%.
And for me, I love that for me. I love that. I love naturopathic medicine. And so thank you for taking the time today. And yeah, it was nice talking with you.
And
Yeah.
come see
Thank you, guys.
homeopathics at the Exceptional ND conferences, right? Because you've been an amazing fixture there in support of our crazy fun events. So that
Yeah.
come visit
Well, I love
and
you guys. So yeah.
learn more. Well, we love you, and I think we have like, why don't we have you speaking? So that we need to set
I
that
know.
up.
I'm writing it
Yeah.
down. I wrote it down. I got it.
Give us some clinical pearls on stage next time.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. It's especially for the new grads, right? Like I feel like the old eclectic NDs there will be like, okay, come on. But the new grads will probably eat it up because they're not learning it.
No.
Okay, we need to do this series for Exceptional Intern. We need to
Yes.
do homeopathic.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay. I
Yeah.
got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll to let
That's
everyone
great.
else go, and we'll brainstorm about our future collaboration. But I'm excited. I love this talk. Thank you. Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing, and congrats on your success. And everybody needs to check out. This is amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, guys.
With the number 7, I keep on my head like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, everybody.
Chris is singing. This is Friday, folks. You may not be watching
Friday
it on
before the long
Friday, but
weekend.
this is Friday feels right now.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well,
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you guys.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for the support.
Thank you.
bye.